Hey everyone, Happy New Year. Welcome to the Empowered by Women YouTube or podcast channel, wherever you're watching or listening. Happy 2023. I really wanted to start this year off with an episode that just helps all of us to create our most authentic year yet, which I think is so important for us to just show up as ourselves. But before we get started, for those of you that don't know, Empowered by Women is a community that I created where women can really just come to connect and indulge in really powerful, impactful, motivational content. I really wanted a place where I could genuinely work with other women in business and do so in a way that empowers other women in our community. So this podcast includes a lot of interviews with other incredible women entrepreneurs, and also we'll have some episodes of me just sprinkled in where I'm kind of just talking about all of my thoughts and the pep talks that I give myself, and I want to be able to share that with you all. I've been on this incredible mindset journey for the past 3 or so years now, really ever since I started thinking of the idea of my own business, Book of Bijou. From there, I've just been really getting to know myself more and falling more and more confident in who I am as a person and wanting to take all of the steps necessary to be really intentional about how I'm showing up in the world and that it is aligned to who I really am on the inside. So that is what this episode is going to be about. How we can all move forward to just create lives that are truly, authentically us. How we can, get out of our heads, stop talking ourselves out of things. It's so incredibly important for us to just start showing up as ourselves. And I think a lot of times we hold back. But this year, we are not going to do that. We're not going to let that happen. We're not going to let ourselves talk ourselves out of things. We are not going to let other people dictate the way that we show up in the world or how we live our lives. That's over with. This is the new year. We are going full force, and I hope you guys are coming along for the ride. So I think I'll just start it off by saying that fitting in is honestly like a scam. Am I right or am I right? Like, fit in with who, first of all? If you're fitting in, that typically means you're trying to act a certain way. You're letting people dictate the way that you are living your life, the way that you dress, the kind of career that you have, the way that you talk. You're trying to do all of these things to appease other people that aren't who you are naturally. But if those people aren't who you naturally are, why would you want to fit in with them in the first place? That's just forcing yourself to live so inauthentically. And at the end of the day, does that really make you happy? I mean, honestly, screw that. At the end of your life, you want to be proud of the life you lived. You want to be able to look back and reflect on all of these amazing memories that you have because of these amazing decisions that you've made that were based on the kind of person you are and the life that you want to live. I want you to make sure that you stop letting the world shape you. Your shape now, not just physically, but spiritually, mentally, everything that you are is perfect as it is. And we really need to start entering the world and letting the world fit around us instead of us trying to figure out how we can fit into the world. It shouldn't be like that. Come as you are, and your people, your community, everything that you need in life will follow. This kind of goes back to my motto of being loudly passionate and being truly honest with who you are and being loud about it and being proud about it. Because if there is something that you feel really passionate about and you're open about that passion and you tell people about that passion and you're unapologetically yourself, people will pick up on that. And people that share that same passion with you, those people will be drawn to you because they find that relation with you. And then the more people that are drawn to you, it just becomes a cyclical effect, because then you're realizing that you're finding all of your people, and then you just want to be more of who you are and you want to put out more work in whatever it is that you're passionate about. And in turn, that's just going to attract more and more people. And it's this really incredible effect of you allowing the world to fit around you. You're no longer trying to fit in with people that don't even share any of the same interests as you. You are being open and proud about your own interests and about your mission, about who you are, and you're attracting people based on that. The right people, your people. With Empowered by Women and with Book of Bijou, that really has been my story so far. I really do genuinely love this women empowerment and small business space, and I find it so fulfilling and so heartwarming to be surrounded by so many women that share the same ambition as me, that are incredibly creative and innovative and resourceful, and I love that, and I love being surrounded by it, and it feeds my energy. And honestly, working on these businesses is almost a form of self-care for me, because it does fill my cup. I'm no longer trying to pour from my own cup to fill other people's cups. I mean, yeah, naturally that does just happen because I am so fulfilled that I want to help other people, but it is because there is a genuine desire to do so and a genuine love for the space that I'm in. So it's happening so naturally, and I'm happy to pour from my cup to fill other people's cups. And it's not something that feels exhausting or draining to me, because it really is aligns with who I am and who I want to be and who I see myself as 5, 10, 20 years down the line. So that kind of brings me to my next point of now also it's really time to let go of the perfection and allow that to be replaced with that authenticity. I think a lot of times and a lot of people have that difficulty of starting or of showing up because they don't want to show up as imperfect. I was the same way. I still very much can be the same way. It is one of my goals this year to be more comfortable with letting go. I think in the past couple of years, I've done really great with that and learning to let go and recognizing that everything is a learning process, that I'm not going to be perfect, and that's okay. Perfection honestly really doesn't exist. Whether you're a maker or whatever it is that you do in your business, if everything is perfect, you're probably not looking hard enough. There's never going to be that moment where you're like, okay, this is absolutely perfect. You know, whether you're putting out some kind of product or some kind of service, there's always going to be room for improvement. And I think that's the beauty of business, right? That there's always room for improvements. Even with, you know, these big companies, the latest iPhones, they're always coming up with something new because there's always room for improvement. But that shouldn't let us stop ourselves from showing up to begin with just because it's not perfect. We want to do what we can, when we can, with what we have. Being a business owner is all about being resourceful. And as I mentioned, recognizing that everything is a learning process, that you will get better along the way, that you will continue to learn and improve. But it really is so important to just make sure you take that first step to show up. I know that there's a lot of gurus and business consultants and people out there that will, you know, really drive home like how you show up. That maybe, you know, the way you're marketing yourself or the things that you're offering just aren't good enough. And that could be true, you know, but we all have to start somewhere, and we can't let that stop us from showing up at all. So if push comes to shove, when comparing the two, I think it's immensely more important to show up, the act of showing up versus how you're showing up. The how you can work on. As long as you're showing up, the how will improve as you go forward, you know, along the way. But if you're never showing up to begin with, you're never going to get better. You're never going to be the person that you want to be and that you hope to be in the next 5, 10, 20 years. Take Book of Bijou, for example. For anyone that's been following along our journey with that, the manufacturing journey has been nothing short of a nightmare. It's still stressful to this day. And mind you, we officially launched for pre-orders in August of 2021. Now we're in January of 2023, and we still got a long way to go. But I really do and did have faith in my vision, and I really do believe in what I've brought to the table. And at the start of the whole like manufacturing mishaps that continue on, if I'm being completely honest, it brought me to kind of a crossroads with Book of Bijou. And I had to make a decision how I was going to present that information to our audience, to our customers and our clients. And I knew that that decision was going to determine, what kind of business owner I was, what kind of brand we would have. And I made the decision to want to be a very transparent business. And I wanted people to be able to come on the journey with me, not just have to witness it from afar. I really love the idea of community. I truly, truly do. And I wanted people to see the ups and downs of business, because I know I have, of course, a lot of customers following us on our Book of Bijou page, but I also had other business owners. And entrepreneurship can be really lonely, and it is absolutely so stressful. But to be able to see that the next business next to you doesn't have all their ducks in a row 100% of the time, I think is almost like a weight off of your shoulders. So I made that decision to be very transparent. And I went onto our IG stories, I did a live, I did a whole bunch of things to really let people in on what was happening with our manufacturing process. And the most amazing thing happened. I was honestly dreading having to tell people about what was going on, but I decided, I'm going to be honest, I'm going to be vulnerable. And in doing so, as the owner of the brand, I had so many people reach out to me, both customers as well as fellow business owners, reaching out to me and honestly thanking me for my honesty. And they were connecting with me on a level that I don't think I would have been able to establish had I not taken that leap to be fully transparent and put myself out there and just be really open and raw about everything that I was going through and how I was feeling as a business owner trying to figure it out, honestly. And I've strengthened so many connections because of that. That was my first real eye-opening experience about being authentic and being transparent. And it stuck with me and continues to push me to be that way with everything that I'm doing with both Book of Bijou and Empowered by Women. Again, being a business owner is hard, but being able to connect with other women that get it makes it a lot less lonely. And I think we're just often way too hard on ourselves and way too skeptical about what our honesty might portray or what our vulnerability will result in. But at the end of the day, the biggest result you can get is that you're genuinely connecting with other people that get it. And at the end of the day, isn't that what we want? Genuine connections and not just superficial followers. And 100K on Instagram would be great, but my goal isn't just a number. It really is to connect with people and to find my people and to help people that want to be helped by me. I want to be surrounded by women that I know I can have a genuine connection with, and that's what matters to me at the end of the day. So often, especially as business owners, we talk ourselves out of things for the fear of how our ideas or our products or our services will be received. But I do have this genuine belief that they will be received by the right people. If we are putting ourselves, our honest and true selves, into our products, into our services, into how we're showing up, we will attract the right people. There have been countless times with Empowered by Women where I've wanted to do something and I've been really scared to do it. I have. But I've committed and I follow through with it. And when I do follow through with it, the most amazing things happen. I meet the most incredible women, and it's such an incredible feeling afterwards. That's another one of my goals this year, is to stop letting myself talk myself out of things, because I know I have so many big ideas, and I do consider myself a very ambitious person and a very creative person. I do want to be surrounded by so many people, not just because of the sheer number of people, but because I love the energy that these people bring, and I love the connection, and those are just my people. Those are my people. So as I said, one of my goals is to stop letting myself talk myself out of things, because all of these ideas that I'm having, they're because of who I am as a person, and because of the life that I know that I want to live and want to create for myself, and the mission that I have as a business owner. And if I allow myself to talk myself out of these things, I'm not fully stepping in to my power and my mission as a business owner. And I'm selling myself short. I'm selling Empowered by Women short. I'm selling Book of Bijou short. And I recognize that. So whatever ideas, big, small ideas, whatever it is that you're thinking about that you feel kind of constantly pulling you towards, whether it's been, in the past few days, in the past few months, in the past few years, if you feel something that keeps calling to you, try it out. Put it out there. Stop letting fear dictate how you move forward in life. Stop talking yourself out of the things that you really truly want in life. I genuinely, from the bottom of my heart, feel that we can all bring something to the table. And I really hope that in this coming year and all of the years that follow, that you don't hesitate to bring what you have to offer, because I know that you do have something amazing to offer. All right, well, I don't know how long I've been talking, but I think I got my point across that this is the year for us to be authentically us, to really start living the lives that we know we want, that you absolutely do deserve, something that fuels your fire, that fills your cup, that makes you feel so good and makes the people around you feel so good, because you're just exuding all of this incredible energy from stepping into your power and really being who you are, this amazing, beautiful, powerful, inspiring woman that you are, or man, if there's any men listening. Be that person. Show up, however imperfectly. You are beautiful, you are incredible, and you have something to offer. Nobody's looking for perfect. Perfect doesn't exist. Perfect isn't real. Little side note before I end it. This is why when I show up on my IG stories, I just show up however I am. And it is halfway intentional, but also, that's just what I'm able to do in the moment. As a mother of 2 young girls with a full-time job, juggling the businesses that I'm trying to build, sometimes the way that I show up isn't perfect and pretty and completely put together as much as I would like it to be, but I know the importance of showing up regardless. So I show up, and I hope that you will continue to do the same, to know that all of that pressure that you're feeling to show up so perfectly, most of that pressure is probably just coming from yourself. And even if you do show up in your pajamas or with wet hair, like I did on my IG stories last night, that's perfectly fine. And the people that want to be surrounded by you and your energy and your goals and your values, they will stick around and not judge you for it, because they respect you, who you are as a person, and what you have to bring to the table. So with that said, I will end it for real this time. Thank you so much for tuning in. I do hope to be releasing more episodes more frequently this year around, whether you're watching on YouTube or on either any of our podcast platforms. Definitely please hit the subscribe or follow buttons, add a comment, like, all of the things in all of the places. Any little bit of support means the world to me. I'm so glad you're here. I'm so glad you've tuned in. And I am so glad that you are doing what you need to do to live the life that you love and deserve. Happy 2023.